We got the story from townhall.com. Bipartisan CBS focus group stuns host when panelists agree on almost everything, including woke culture. So the clip's actually a bit long. What do we have? It's like 3.5 minutes. So I'm not going to play the full thing for you, but it really, really is amazing. You've got a Republican, a Democrat, and an independent. And then they're all just like, she asks the Republican guy and he's like, I just don't like this indoctrination of kids in schools with the weird sexual stuff that's for adults. We shouldn't have that. And then she's like, is this your kids? And he's like, no, I'm in Texas. But where I was in Iowa, it was bad. And she goes, okay, so you're mad about what's on the news. Then it goes to the black woman in the top left. And she's like, I agree with all of that. I think it's horrible. I've got a bunch of kids. Then it goes to the woman in the bottom right. And she's like, yeah, I completely agree. And even with the vaccine mandates and stuff like that and the lockdowns. So here we have one of the most shocking, I guess, panels so far in the midterms. We're in the middle of the midterms because we no longer do election day. Now it's election month.
Right. And
we're seeing that at least here, everyone completely agrees. So I'm wondering, I retweeted this person. I don't know who this person is on Twitter. It's a small account with a few followers saying, come the midterms, Democrats are going to win. And the media is going to ask, how could this have happened? And it's because Democrats are secretly, hiding and Republicans are secretly switching to the Democratic Party. And there's no evidence for that claim, but I'm like, all right, I'll retweet that and say, let's revisit this one on the 9th and see what happens. I think this is more evidence, along with all of the polling, which is insane. The 538 forecast now has basically a coin toss chance that Republicans win both chambers and an 81% chance they at least win the House. I feel like looking at this, it's not so much that it's a red wave or red tsunami. It's that Democrats are quitting, independents are flipping, and Republicans are already 99% in the bag.
I have a good conspiracy theory for you, Red.
Oh, conspiracy.
Here we go. So the Democrats, traditionally when especially there's a Democrat president in charge, we know that it swings to the opposite party come midterms. So they already knew because, of the way the economy is and gas prices and whatever. I think they're chalking it up, letting us win. That's why they're dumping money into like these right-wing campaigns and stuff, right?
You see the Veritas video?
Yeah. So, but my point is what they're going to do is they're going to let us have control of the House and the Senate so that we can, our base, no matter what, is like not strategic. And they're going to be like, you're not in there. You're not doing enough. So then they're going to start pushing in because we've got these further right candidates. They're going to start pushing in more far right policies. That way, when it comes time for them to get the House, the Senate, and the White House again come 2024, that it's going to be way easier because they're going to go point to all our terrible policies. And that's where the Republicans won't be like chill about it.
You think Joe Biden's going to sign these policies into law? You think Republicans are going to, House and the Senate's going to pass a bill and Biden's going to be like, okay, I guess, Republicans said so.
Depending on what it is, it doesn't matter.
Not just that, but the Democrats have no A-listers. None. Name a Democrat A-lister.
I can't name one.
Anybody?
Not anybody that's worth their salt. Like who do they have running?
In the Republican Party, you at least have Trump and DeSantis.
Right.
And I'm sure you could probably throw out a couple other B-listers. But
Swalwell's pretty social. He's out there, meeting a lot of
A-lister. Who's got the X factor?
Not all. But here's the thing. It doesn't. I don't think it really matters because if our base will push us to start like proposing radical policies, and even if Biden doesn't do it, they'll say you need to keep him in so that they don't ruin our country with all these crazy things that they're trying to implement.
I think it's a better strategy. Argument. They might say, look at the Republican bills that they tried to get through and Biden blocked. If Biden doesn't get reelected, they're getting these things through.
You're also, thinking that the Republicans could get something done. I've been very critical of them personally myself, and a lot of the times they come into office and they kind of just sit on their hands, especially when it comes to the Congress and the Senate.
You will have your newer people in there proposing legislation. If you have what's his face, Arizona, Blake Masters. Blake Masters is definitely going to want to go in there and like get to work. He's definitely one of those people. But if he gets pushed enough in these 2 years by the right base and starts putting in policy that is too far, quote, right, they have something to run on big time in 2024.
The Republicans right now, who do they got? They got, I mentioned DeSantis and Trump. That's easy. But Carrie Lake, I feel like Carrie Lake could be president. She's the way she speaks, the way she's got a commanding presence, very calm and collected, very quick-witted.
Do you think Carrie Lake would want to be president though?
You think so?
Like when we talked
What does that
about
look
it,
on your face?
I just think so. I just think
Yeah, this look, you're like, I know a
you
secret.
mention
I
it
don't
to
know
her?
anything. I'm just saying, I definitely think that, I mean, she's poised to be. She's articulate. She's great with the media, and everybody loves her. Like, if you were to poll regular
she's
Americans
amazing.
right now, they say, I'd love to see her be president.
You know, my
Hands down.
bias is when we get like politicians who have come on this show and it's like pulling teeth. And it's just like the campaign has got a bunch of stipulations or there's like weird things. And I'm like, I ignore it. I'm like, bro, you can show up, sit down or whatever. So I respect every politician who's come on the show because we don't have like a prerequisite list of like talking points. We sit down, I pull up news stories, we talk for a little bit, we go live, and then the conversation goes where it goes. I try to be respectful. I try to make sure we're being, you know,
You were good
honest.
to my former boss when he was on here.
Who was it?
Randy Weber. We were talking about
Oh,
oil and
right,
stuff,
yeah. Yeah, that was great.
I mean, you were great to
But
him.
Carrie Lake, she shows up and MTG sits down and says, sup.
Yeah.
And there's like, let's just talk. And there's no fear. It's just, we'll talk about whatever, ask a question.
That's how it should be, though. I, as somebody who would give advice to comms, like comms advice to candidates, there's so many times where they just come in Twitter spaces and stuff, and I'm like, stop talking. If they were my like candidate, I'd be like, stop talking. I mean, you do as a comms person try to protect them, but it's better when
Different
they're
era,
just
man.
real. It's better. I mean, the authenticity is really what matters.
We were watching the DeSantis Chris debate just before we started this, and Charlie Crist pulled a dirty trick because the campaigns agreed that there would be no cross questions between the candidates. They would let the moderator handle things, and that's the right way to do it. Otherwise, you start yelling at each other, and then the audience goes nuts, and it's WWE. So Crist goes, "Ron, are you actually going to be the governor and finish a 4-year term? Why don't you answer right now?" And then Ron's like, "Is it my time yet? Okay, anyway." And then the moderator's like, "Let me remind the candidates, you've agreed not to ask each other questions." And I thought that Chris got him.
I agree.
Charlie Crist got him by asking that, and Ron should have just said yes.
That's what you said.
Next
I
question.
said that he should have said, I don't know what the political landscape is like right now, but no
That's
matter
not
what,
it.
I'll take care of. I
Just
mean,
say
I
yes.
think it's more honest.
If it were me and I was debating, and someone was like, "Do you want to be president? Are you actually running to be governor? And will you finish 4 terms?" Is that a serious question? Yes, I'm standing here, aren't I? Come on, let's not waste people's time. Okay, obviously I want to be the governor. Obviously I'm here to finish the job, do the job, and finish the term out. Let's not play stupid political games. We
Okay,
have
that's
problems.
a better answer than just yes.
I'm just so sick of the fake everything. The fake
I agree.
everything. When Deepwater Horizon is my favorite example. Deepwater Horizon happens and there's oil spilling everywhere. And then the PR guy comes out and says, "We're sorry that this happened," and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, everyone knows your statement is bull crap. Every single time a politician comes out, we know everything coming out of their mouth. I don't care who they are, just trash coming out. That's why, when Trump came out today and he was like, "You know what you got to do to find the leaker? You got to take the writer, the guy who wrote it, and you got to lock him up. And then once he finds out he's going to become someone's husband, then he'll flip." And I'm like, that's a horrible, psychotic thing to say. Wow, but Trump just came out and said it. That's so crazy. That like
I didn't hear that. When was that? Like recently?
there's a clip going around, it's going viral where Trump's he's like, I know it's
Where
nasty.
was that released?
I tweeted it. It's on my Twitter. Should I pull it up?
Are we even allowed to post videos of Trump talking on Twitter anymore?
I mean, he's just saying that you should hold.
Do you admire that, he's just willing to say crazy things like that?
I don't like that he said it. I don't like that he holds the idea. The point I'm bringing up is here. It's Citizens for Ethics.
The honesty is refreshing, is what you're saying.
Exactly. This is why
Okay.
people vote for him. They're like, well, I think it's bad, but damn if I'd vote for a liar. Because when Trump says this, so here's a tweet. Citizens for Ethics says, in this horrifying clip, Donald Trump proposes throwing reporters in jail where they'll be raped until they give up their sources. His crowd laughed. I think it's a terrible thing to believe, to say.
Yeah,
and I think reporters, if it were me as a reporter and someone said, "Give me your source," I'd be like, nope. And if Trump said to me, "Then you're going to get locked up and be raped or whatever, or be someone's boyfriend or husband," I'd be like, "Sucks for you, I guess, because you ain't getting anything from me." But the point is, whenever these politicians come out, 99.9% of the time, they're spewing word diarrhea into your face like a projectile, just spraying you, and you're just like, "You waste my time, good sir."
That
and then
was my
Donald Trump
problem
comes
with
out
the
and says
Herschel
this.
The Herschel Walker, when he should have just, the easiest way around the Herschel Walker stuff with like the abortion and stuff is say, I did that. I'm a different person. It was a couple of years ago. I'm sorry. I've hurt a lot of people in my life, and I've been doing everything I can to make amends. I mean, people would have respected that 1,000 times more than tweeting out like, "Oh, that's my son. I love him no matter what." Like, everybody's rolling their eyes. Like, stop.
Exactly. I'm just
I
sick
was
of it.
so mad at their campaign staff for that because, you know, they're going to vote. The Republicans down there are going to vote for him instead of Warnock anyway. Like, let's be fair.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.